Gentlemen? Hello? Like to get started, please? Thank you. Good evening. This is a public meeting of the Lowell Zoning Board of Appeals for August 25th, 2014. Tonight, the board has three matters before us. And before we get started, if anyone has an electronic device, if you could either turn it down or turn it off, please, before we get started. First order of business is under continuances. First petition is ZB 2014-34. The petition's a variance. The applicant is Common Ground Development Corp., property located at 430 Broadway Street. Petition, the applicant is seeking a variance for approval for a redevelopment located at 430 Broadway Street. The proposal consists of repurposing the existing commercial space located on the ground floor into 3 residential units without meeting parking requirements pursuant to section 6.1.1 of the zoning ordinance. We received a communication from the applicant. I'll read it into the record. Dear Mr. Bailey, I am writing to you as an attorney for the Common Ground Development Corp. of Lowell, Mass., who presently has a matter scheduled for hearing before your board on Monday, August 25th, 2014. I am respectfully requesting that the matter before the City of Lowell Board of Appeals be withdrawn without prejudice. Thank you for your attention, Attorney George Theodore. So with that said, they've withdrawn without prejudice. Is there necessity to take a vote on this at all, Judy?
Yes, I believe you do have to vote to accept the withdrawal.
Okay. So could I have a motion, please? Withdrawal. Yeah.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept withdrawal for ZB 2014-034. The petition was a variance for Common Ground Development Corp.
Do I have a second?
Second the motion.
Roll call.
Chairman Bailey,
Approve the withdrawal.
Mr. Callahan,
Approve the withdrawal.
Mr. McCarthy,
Approve the withdrawal.
Mr. Palia,
Approve the withdrawal.
Mr. Peck.
Approve withdrawal.
Next matter before us is ZB 2014-36. Petitions a special permit. The applicant is Nicholas Fotopoulos. Property is located at 1600 Middlesex Street. The petition, the applicant is seeking special permit approval for a development located at 1600 Middlesex Street. The proposal consists of reactivating an automotive sales operation on site. The proposed project is located in the Regional Retail Zoning District and requires special permit approval under Section 12.6B of the Lowell Zoning Ordinance. Received a communication from the petitioner. I, Nick Fotopoulos, request a continuance for the special permit for the used car license for September 8th, 2014. So could I have a motion to continue to September 8th, please?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to continue the applicant for a special permit from Nick Fotopoulos for 1600 Middlesex Street to September 16th?
8th.
I'm sorry, September 8th.
Do I have a second?
Second the motion.
Roll call. Continue to September 8th.
Chairman Bailey, Mr. Callahan,
Continue to September 8th.
Mr. McCarthy,
Continue to September 8th.
Mr. Palia,
Continue to September 8th.
Mr. Peck.
Continue to September 8th.
Okay, that matter has been continued. Next order of business under new business. This is ZB 2014-40. Petitions of variance. The applicant is Stephen DeRocha. Property is located at 27 Phillips Street, and the petition, the applicant is seeking variance approval for an extension and structural change of a non-conforming structure at 27 Phillips Street. The proposal consists of expanding the current use as a 2-family structure by adding 500 square feet of living area without changing the existing footprint. The proposed project is located in the traditional 2-family zoning district and requires approval of a variance under section 4.54 of the Lowell zoning ordinance. Good evening, sir. Good to see you again.
HB Architects. And to my right is Stephen DeRosa, the property owner. As you know, we're here this evening for a variance to turn a single-family into a two-family residence. And as you've just described, we are adding some additional living square footage, which was previously just an open barn area to the rear of the building, adjacent to the existing garage. Our proposal this evening includes converting the existing single-family into a two-family residence, the back half of the unit being one, and the second floor being one unit, and then the front half of the first floor being another unit. We are also utilizing the existing garage as additional parking, and up above on the upper portion of the garage, which was previously a slope roof, we've converted it or suggested conversion of a deck, which is living space that's accessible from the second floor of the back unit. As you know as well, this is a traditional two-family zone. We feel that this project, as described, fits within the context of the neighborhood and the uses in the neighborhood as well. We've also provided you with a site plan, obviously plot plan of the property, showing parking, stacked parking in the existing driveway, as well as a deeded parking space on Phillips Street. That's it, if you have any questions.
Sure. I guess the first question I'll ask is, when was the property purchased?
Approximately 3 months ago.
Why don't you stand up here, Stephen?
Approximately 3 months ago, maybe
If you
4
could-
months ago.
If you could just introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
My name is Stephen DeRosa.
Okay. 3 months ago it was purchased?
Yes.
And when it was purchased, was anybody living there?
No, it was an abandoned property.
Okay. All right. And, okay. Can you tell me about the work that's been done there? Because when I took a ride by, I guess I wasn't expecting to see what I saw. Looks like there's been a lot of work done. I'm not sure what it looked like previously, but
It was rough.
could you walk me through that? I mean, it sounds like you purchased it 3 months ago and immediately started doing renovations, is that?
Yes.
Okay. And it was used as a single family, as far as you know, prior to that?
Actually, Sean, the building inspector, lived right around the corner from it. He said all of his life, he says the house is actually used as a two-family.
Two-family? Yep.
It's a large home. It's, I think, about I'm guessing around 2,800 feet. And we went in and put in, we completely, well, I shouldn't say completely gutted, 80% gutted the property, 85%. We left some of the original trim, but it all has all new walls, plastered walls, all new electrical, all new plumbing, central air conditioning, windows, roof. It was, we've gone through it,
Okay.
completely.
So the city had it as a single family, but supposedly past use has been as a two-family. Is
That's correct.
per the records that the city has, Judy?
Yes.
Okay.
Should further explain that. Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, just to explain a little further, when Mr. DeRosa took ownership of the property, as you know, it was listed as a single family. And the work that Mr. DeRosa has done to this point has all been done with the intention or the potential of it being turned into a two-family, but it exists currently that if we weren't granted this variance, that it could still maintain its status as a single family. So he went in with the intention of renovating the entire building as a single family, and then realized as he got into the project, hey, maybe we can turn this into a two-family. Let's go to the town and see if we can get this converted to a two-family, and then we will have a two-family residence in the single which was, previously a single family, even though it was being used as a two-family. And when I walked through the property initially, you know, there were divisions made inside the building to allow it to be used for multiple tenants, but not in a real legal way, obviously.
Yeah, because I know my past experience being on this board, sometimes I'll take a look at just to see what the electrical hookup is and how many meters are running, so I didn't do it in this case, but I'm assuming there were 2 meters in there, but I shouldn't assume. Okay, anything else you'd like to tell us? So I guess the other thing you've put in here, you've talked about the parking. Can you explain what the proposal is with the parking?
Yes, the proposal is there's an existing garage in the back of the unit that we could dedicate 2 parking spaces for, 1 parking space in the garage, and then 1 parking space directly in front of the garage doors for the back unit, which occupies the lower level and the upper level. Then on the front of the property on Phillips Street is a deeded parking space, which would be deeded toward, or would be used for the front property, the front unit, and then the front unit would have an additional parking space in the driveway as well, parked behind the other unit, or parked in front of the other unit.
Okay. So how many parking spots are you talking about that are going to be the stacked parking, including the parking in the garage?
The plan currently shows 3 stacked parking spaces, and then we have 1 deeded space on Phillips. And then there's 1 space inside the garage, so you end up with 5 total spaces, potentially.
So you're gonna stack 3, 1 in the garage and 1 out front?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Anything else before I open it up to the public? Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here that'd like to speak in favor of this project? In favor? In favor? Hearing none, that portion of the public hearing is closed. Anyone like to speak in opposition?
I'm not sure it's
If you can tell us who you are and where you
yes.
reside, sir?
My name is Sidney Leung, and I live on 23 Phillips Street, just right next to the house that's being renovated. I don't have anything professionally made, but I have 3 concerns that I'd like to bring. It's could be minor, could major, I don't know, but can I give this to somebody?
Sure, you can bring it up to me if you want. You need a copy for yourself to speak to? No? Okay.
So first and foremost, I mean, I've been living on the 23 Phillips Street for over 10 years. So, and I got to say that what Mr. DeRosa's been doing is really a great job. The property looks really good, and it's a very, big improvement from what I've seen from the beginning since I moved in into my house. So I am speaking as a father, just because I have these 3 main concerns. One is if you look at the front page, the main concern that I have, one is safety and security. The other one is privacy, and the third one is parking. So if you look on the first page, Exhibit 1, so basically this is from the back of my yard. So therefore, I have outlined the upstairs, downstairs, and my daughter's bedroom, and also the kitchen. These are some of the main concerns that I have.
Can I just interrupt you for a quick second? Are you facing the property, are you on the right or the left?
Facing the property. So the property is right here, so I'll be on the right-hand side.
Yep, okay.
Okay.
I assumed the numbers were running up, I just wanted to ask. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
It's almost the 2 colors of the house are almost the same. Okay, but I mean, of course, they're better. Okay. So my main concern now is if you turn the page, you can see that looking from the kitchen areas that from the upper decks, you can look into my kitchens. So basically, you can see through the kitchen area if we're doing something, cooking and whatnot. That's one of my main concerns. Also, if you continue to turn the page on Exhibit 3, this is my downstairs bathroom. And also, if you're looking on top of the deck, looking down, you can see into the bathroom as well. that concern as well for me. The Exhibit 4 is my major concern because that's my daughter's bedroom. And so basically, that's one of the major reasons that I'm here. Before I go explain further, there's number 5, exhibit number 5, is the upstairs bathroom. And the picture can see, if you're looking at the right picture, that is inside the bathtub looking outside through the window. Mr. DeRosa, and I talked a little bit, and I went to the upper decks and I mentioned, this is before it was built, that this is would be my main concern as well, because, my daughter's gonna be living there, and also this place is gonna be renovated and rented to students, of UMass Lowell and things like that. So therefore, if we have 5 tenants this year or 4 years, what happened 5 years from now? There might be some other student that might be not really, in a way adaptive, but then I'm going to still continue to live in that neighborhood, in that street, in that house. So that's my main concern. That's why I'm here. It's just that the safety of my kid, my family, and of course my parking space, that it shouldn't be, taken during weekend or weekdays or whatnot. Just that's my main basic concern. That's all.
Okay, I think you said you had safety, parking, what was the third one?
Safety, security, privacy, and parking.
So the security,
Well, so basically, the unit will be rented to students, and my kid bedroom is up there.
Yep.
So it's trigger something in my head that, what if I'm not home and, my kid's taking a shower or something like that, and you got somebody, doing something up there. It might not happen 5 year, 10 year, 15 year, I don't know. It's just a concern that I have to protect my kid.
okay. Anything else you'd like to add, sir?
Nope, that's all I have. Thank you.
And as far as the parking, your concern is they may
Basically,
take
this
your
is
parking
this
spot
is
and-
college kid. They're gonna live in that neighborhood, that house over there, and and like I only have that one parking spot.
Yep.
And I don't need to go knock the house and then please don't park here. And I know Mr. DeRosa and Jeff over here explained to me that not going to happen, but I'm just saying, that's one of my concerns.
Do you know if all the units on Phillip Street all have parking, the City of Lowell parking stickers out there?
Most of them, I would say 90% of them have this
Okay.
newly.
Do you have one on the front of your house?
I do, and I paid $10 for it.
Okay, great. Anything else, sir?
No, that's it, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone else like to speak in opposition? Yes, sir?
Good evening. My name is Tony Alcara. I live on 20 Marsh Street. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting the gentleman except this gentleman behind me. You have met my wife, Barbara.
You
My
live
wife,
on Marsh Street?
Marsh Street, 20 Marsh Street,
Okay,
adjacent right behind the house.
okay.
I have a couple of concerns. One of the biggest issues is privacy right into my bedroom.
Yep,
The other thing is safety. I got a couple of special need boys, and from what Steve or Mr. DeRosa have told my wife, it's mostly gonna be girls. These are teenage special need boys. They don't know no better.
yep.
I'm concerned for safety for them and for whoever's living over there. I have some pictures to show if you gentlemen
Sure.
don't mind me.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. So while the pictures are going around, I guess one thing I'm going to ask, I'll have a couple of questions, Mr. DeRosa, after this gentleman's done, okay?
Uh, 20 Marsh Street, been in my wife's family since 1909.
Okay.
The bond that the gentleman is talking about, my wife's grandmother sold it to the family, the original family, for $1.
Yep.
It used to be a whorehouse and a brewery place in the old days.
Sure. Yep.
That's how far back the house goes. That's how far the family is connected to that area.
Okay. Yep.
Under the circumstances, the wife ain't here. She's in Pennsylvania. Was my daughter.
Yep.
That's why I'm here to speak in her behalf and behalf of the family.
Yep.
One of the issues is the closeness of the balconies. The young ladies having a party. Gentlemen are over there. They decide to have a few drinks, jump off the balcony before you know it, they're on mine.
Yep.
Either in the house or in the, there's only 3-4 feet span in between. That's one of my biggest concerns.
So is your property directly behind?
Exactly behind.
Okay. So between Mr. DeRosa's property is the garage and then your property, is that
Yes, sir.
correct? Okay. And in the pictures that you showed us, I mean, how close is the distance, do you
3
think?
feet.
20 feet?
3 feet.
3 feet, okay.
3
Okay,
to 4
I'm just
feet
trying to,
is-
I didn't walk the
It's
back
at
of
a
Mr. DeRosa's
triangle.
excuse me, sir, I didn't walk the back of Mr. DeRosa's property, I'm just trying to
No problem, sir.
visualize how it can be 3 feet if he has the garage, but I'm just trying to figure that one out.
If you like any day, just go toward Marsh Street.
Yep.
Walk down my stairs, right to the back, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right, anything else you'd like to add, sir?
No, that's my main concern is the privacy, looking right into the bedroom and the closeness of the concern of being able to, if somebody decides to leave,
Yep,
you know.
okay. All right, sir,
That's it.
thank you very
Thank you.
much. Anyone else like to speak in opposition? Opposition, opposition. Hearing none, that portion of public hearing is closed. Mr. DeRosa, could you come up, please? So what I'd like to do is, because these gentlemen showed up this evening, I'd like to give you an opportunity to at least address some of their concerns that they've talked about. If you'd like to, that's up to you, but I'd like to hear if you have anything to say about their comments.
Well, the neighborhood over there, all the homes are very, very close. I don't believe that it's 3 feet. It's probably more 20 feet from our deck to his deck. They're about the same level. I'm not sure that, oh, it's gone. Okay. I think that may be their bedroom, but we both have decks about the same. They might be a few feet apart, and maybe that's what he's talking about. But the distance between the two, it's got to be at least 20 feet, if not more. I think this might satisfy both the neighbors if we took, may I?
Sure, absolutely. Do you know what the dimensions, what the height is of that currently right now, the way it is shown there, the deck? Yeah,
That's a 42-inch rail.
okay.
That's good for, up to, I think it's multi-family.
Yeah.
We just go to the 42-inch.
So you'd be proposing to go higher than that, and, yeah,
The gentleman on the street.
Yep.
What we have there, so 5 feet or 6 feet.
right, for the privacy, yeah.
And then again, along the back, then it would still be appealing.
Yep.
And they'd have their privacy.
That makes a lot of sense. One is two sides.
Okay.
And I think they'd be.
All right.
I just found this out.
Yep.
In these bedrooms, I said I'd even pay for some sort of blinds that you can see in, but you can't, I wish I can't see in, but
Yep. Okay.
But back here, if you're looking here to the man that was just up, there's gotta be at least 20 feet to 25 feet before. Right. I think what he's talking about, 3 feet is the elevation.
Okay, great. Okay, so at this point, so what, just so you gentlemen know, Mr. DeRosa mentioned a couple of things, which I'm not going to cover at this point. It'll definitely be covered, but he did indicate to us, especially where the opening area is for the deck. We talked about some options that he's looking at, so, but we'll definitely get to that. But that's what he was explaining, just so you know what was being talked about. Okay, I'm going to open it up to the board. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Like other members of the board, perhaps, when we went by the site, the work that was done to renovate the home is certainly going to help that neighborhood. It was an abandoned home before. It was hard to see from the street without going on anyone's property to really understand the concerns of the two neighbors that spoke. And so after hearing from them, I do, I guess, sympathize with their concerns about the fact that there will now be a deck here that is pretty close to the property in the back on Marsh Street and also on Phillips. I guess I just hope that, I know the petitioner has spoken with the neighbors about some alternatives and some ideas around screening, that something could be worked out here, other than us just saying that the deck, that they can't go forward with the deck, with the rest of the renovations, but without the deck. As far as the issue of parking, I did speak to, spoke to a neighbor across the street, Mrs. Kiernan, who, if she's watching at home, I don't want to mention how old she told me she was, but she did say she was born across the street and isn't in favor or opposed to the petition. She likes the work that has been done. That's what she told me anecdotally. She's taught at the university and understands what the student population is like and doesn't really have an issue. She also mentioned that she owns a vacant lot sort of diagonally across the street. I don't remember if she said she rented parking spaces or just offered space for people to park off-street. Obviously, this is a neighborhood, when it was built, no one had a vehicle, a motor vehicle. And over time, it's just become it's a densely populated area that now has added vehicles. So I don't know if those are comments or questions. I guess I echo the concerns of the two neighbors and would like to hear from other members of the board in regard to the issues of, privacy and screening of the deck area. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Mike. All right, Dennis.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I just had a couple of questions, but I do want to comment on the quality of the construction that has already taken place. It does seem like it's quite well done, and the design itself does look quite adequate, if not better than average for that neighborhood, for sure. So nice work to date. The layout itself shows 6 bedrooms. And I think I heard someone mention, maybe yourself, Mr. Droges, about renting to college students. So to me, that's 6 college students, if not more, because sometimes college students have roommates. And we're talking about 4 parking spaces, and it's a congested neighborhood. Hopefully that inspires them to bring their bicycles and ride bicycles. Which is a great biking city, and I think that bikes would be appropriate, and you have a garage to store them in, maybe, who knows. But parking is definitely a concern. I can understand why a lot of discussion is being made about the parking. You do have a great driveway, and certainly it's not the first time that people had to organize their cars and the flow and the spaces there. So you do have 4, if not 5 spaces. You know, you could certainly get 4 cars in there and then 1 maybe in the garage. And so it's certainly, I think, more than adequate for most of these residences these days for student housing. The thing that surprises me is that we're talking about this after so much work has already been done to the house. And so that really kind of is a little surprising that you're here in front of us seeking relief after it looks like all the construction's done. And I'm just kind of wondering, could you just tell me about the sequence of the construction schedule that led us to this?
Actually, it was Steve Nocco and Sean. When I bought the house, originally was just going to keep it a single family.
Okay.
And they both suggested turning it into a 2-family, and I looked through it, and I was very surprised that I didn't see it in the beginning. We are busy with a lot of projects in the city, and as I said earlier, that Sean had said that had been used as a 2-family as long as he lived there. He lived on, I think, Marshall Street.
Okay.
The street next door, anyway. And you know, it's just such a big house. Leaving it as a single family just didn't make a lot of sense at that point. So it was kind of midstream when.
Midstream, okay. It does seem like a very big house for a single family, and that neighborhood does seem like it makes sense, especially where it's zoned. Although you're asking for a lot of relief, again, per the zoning, we have quite a bit of relief to provide for the unit itself as far as square footage. The open area you state is 1,019 square feet. That includes the entire paved surface of the driveway, is that correct? So that's counting as open area. So we really don't have a square footage identifying green space. And is it true that there is no reduction in green space from what was previously existing to what we have now?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, so that's clear that we didn't pave more.
No.
But we really didn't have much to work with to begin with.
No, there's some green space in the front of the building, but that's about it. As you can see from the site plan, the building, for the most part, encompasses the site,
It does.
except for the driveway area.
I do like the idea, because of that, that you've got this roof deck, because I think it's important for people to have an opportunity to get out and have a deck area, and the idea of having this additional screening to help with the, or mitigate the privacy issues that the neighbors have, where you plan to have a 6-foot-high privacy fence on 2 sides, one facing each neighbor, I think goes a long way to help solve that.
Also, if you notice, and it may not be clear from the photographs, but the roof deck does not encompass the entire garage. It is only a portion of the garage.
And I know your plan does call it as 22 feet, but I do believe it's more like 14 by 12 or so, so it is quite a reduction, you're right. I wish we were talking about this when less work was done, because it's a little hard to be pushed into making approval, but you've done great work here, and I think it's a benefit to the neighborhood. And I think that your willingness to work with the neighbors to have their privacy issues addressed is important, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Van?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, to the applicant. I just want to say to Mr. DeRosa, thank you for, going about this and doing it the right way. This was a dilapidated and abandoned building, and you could have just kept it 1 family, but it's been used as 2-family in the past, so I appreciate you doing the right thing and going through the proper process. I do have similar concerns like my colleagues and some of the neighbors who spoke, but you seem very open to the idea of, working with the neighbors right next to you and behind you on Marsh Street. The privacy security issue, I think it is a big deal, especially when it involves, like kids, young kids, teenagers, college kids. So that is something that, it's a concern to me. And, with regards to parking, I'm not, that's really an enforcement issue. So, hopefully the city will be on top of that with the parking. But overall, I think you're very open with this project and working with the neighbors to alleviate any kind of concerns they have. And I know you will, going forward, work with the neighbors, and hopefully after this meeting, you and the neighbors can, at least talk, and you have some great proposals with the extending the deck on the fence, siding, and, the blinds, you can see out, but you can't see in. So, I know you're very open to working with the neighbors, and hopefully you guys can, meet afterwards and talk. I know Mr. DeRosa will probably be very open to that.
Absolutely.
So overall, I think, as long as you be neighborly and work out the issues with the abutters, I think you'll be in good shape. So I wish you well, Mr. DeRosa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Van. Sean?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do want to commend the petitioner. I did have a chance to drive by the area, that the house, the construction on it was it looks very, very well put together, and it looks very nice for the neighborhood. I do also want to thank Mr. Liang and Mr. El Haraf for appearing and voicing their concerns, because the deck, I wasn't able to see it, I could see it from the street. It looked very nice put together, but the privacy concerns obviously are a big thing, and and I'm happy to know that you're willing to work with them and work with the neighbors as far as voicing those concerns, and if there's something, that could be done, that would be great, especially, knowing the area, yes, it is a lot of college towns, so there would be some, looking at the fenced areas, there may be some, safety concerns in that. That's something that, obviously, I'm glad to know that you're willing to work out with them, and that's pretty much all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. So, Mr. DeRosa, do you plan on managing the property?
Yes,
Is it going to fall under your management?
yes.
Yes, we self-manage all of our properties.
Okay. So there isn't, and it's not you can't, but there's no intention. I know past history with, when you've come before this board, you generally are purchasing properties, fixing them up and maintaining them. So I needed to ask that question, if that was the intent here.
Yes,
You own property over on Clare Street also, right?
yes. We
Okay.
were actually
Is that
just started one on 42 Clare Street.
Yep. Okay. Is that a single family?
That's a two-family.
Two-family? Okay. All right. Yep. So you're gonna manage the property, and as far as who you're renting to, this board isn't here to dictate who you can rent to, but my expectation is, and I'll explain this to this gentleman, Mr. DeRosa's been before us with a few different properties, and I'll speak for myself. He does a professional job with, first of all, rehabbing and renovating properties, but then also managing them. So I just wanted to ensure your people or whoever is going to be managing the property. So if there's any concerns that some of these neighbors had with security or people getting out of hand, I'm sure your people will rectify that.
Actually, I'd like to introduce you to Jeff.
Okay. So Jeff's the leg breaker? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff. Yeah. Okay.
Would you explain
Yeah.
your relationship you have
Sure.
with Officer Joe Brown?
We're very involved. We're very involved with all the neighbors. One of the first things we do before we even start construction, I go around and I've met both neighbors. I give them my business card and let them know that we're here to be good neighbors and fit into the neighborhood. And of course, with construction crews and such, parking can be an issue. So I work with the neighbors right from day one to make sure that there's no issues. We also work with Officer Joe Brown from the UMass Lowell Police, and I probably see him twice a month just to check in and make sure there's no problems with any of the properties. I worked for Stevens since 1986. If I'm on vacation, he's going to go by every one of the properties we own on a daily basis. I go and buy the properties every day on a daily basis. So we're not what you call absentee landlords. We work with the community. We work with Board of Health. We work with even the local communities. We just helped sponsor one of the neighborhood groups in the acre that had a get-together, and we were involved with that. So We very much want to be part of the neighborhood, not a problem to the neighborhood.
Sure, thank you. Thank you
Quite
for coming up.
welcome.
Yep. Well, I mean, I think if we look at the neighborhood in general, we know what the neighborhood is. You know, housing's pretty tight. Again, you're coming in here with 5 parking spots, and I'm always a big champion of the parking. So you obviously, I think, have 1 extra if we take the one in front, but you still have 1 in front. And just like this gentleman had a concern about his parking spot, I'm sure if there's abuse of his parking spot, again, you people will take care of that. So the parking is a key thing for me. And again, you know, the history with this petitioner is, we've had no bad reports. I think if you look at his finished products, they're always top-notch. So there's a good history with Mr. DeRosa. So as far as conditions, we talked about the deck area that we're going to put up, privacy fencing, solid fencing, 6 feet up. Is that correct? I want to make sure I'm...
I'd just like to ask them whether it be 5 feet or 6 feet. I personally think 5 feet is high enough, but if you'd like to have 6 feet, I think it would just be...
Well, I don't want to diminish from the appearance of it. I would think 5 feet, but, you know, that's... Anybody on the board have any feelings on that, 5 feet, 6 feet?
Through Mr. Chairman, I do think that 5 feet would aesthetically be reasonable, especially where you're really worried about eye level. And eye level would be, I think, covered for the most part at a 5-foot height.
So we'll condition it at 5 feet. It'll be solid fencing. Dennis can use his own language on that. And the other condition, which I'm not sure if I want to really have it as a condition, but Mr. DeRosa reached out as far as providing maybe some help with shades or whatever in your own home. I think I'll let you guys kind of work that one out. No, but again, I think it's a reflection of how Mr. DeRosa tries to work with his neighbors.
Definitely, from the beginning to now.
Yep.
They're really good guys.
Yep, okay. So
We appreciate
I just want to mention that publicly, but I don't want to condition that. You gentlemen can work that out between yourselves. Anybody else have any other conditions, issues? Okay. Okay, could I have a motion, please?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for ZB 2014-0, I'm sorry, ZB 2014-040 for variance for applicant Steve DeRosa for 27 Phillips Street, with the following condition to provide at the garage deck a 5-foot-high solid privacy screen on the west and north sides only.
And before I ask for a second, I just want to publicly thank you two gentlemen for showing up also. You know, it shows pride of your neighborhood, so I think that's important. Okay, could I have a second, please?
Second the motion?
Roll call.
Chairman Bailey?
Approved with conditions.
Mr. Callahan?
Approval of conditions?
Mr. McCarthy?
Approve with condition.
Mr. Paglia?
Approved with condition?
Mr. Peck?
Approve with conditions.
Okay, Mr. DeRosa, been approved. Wish the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sir, do you want
Very
your
much.
pictures back? Maybe you can get a job at the Sun. Didn't hear me. Thank you.
Your wife's a wonderful person, a wonderful person.
Thank you very much.
Okay, it's other business, and it looks like you didn't supply, and there were no minutes sent
No,
out yet.
no minutes.
Okay. All right, next meeting, September 8th. Okay. Anybody have any comments or whatever? Sean, good to see you back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the board's...
Yeah. You're welcome. Okay, could I have a motion to adjourn?
And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
A second?
Second the motion.
So moved.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thanks.